In this next question, we're asked to round 385,000 inches into miles. So we're going from a smaller measure to a much larger measure, which absolutely makes sense here because 385,000 is an awfully large number of inches. We'll see if we end up with a more reasonable number when we go from the small measure to the larger measure of miles. Be careful here. MI is for miles. Just the M is, of course, the metric unit of meters. And finally, we're going to round our final answer to the nearest hundredth, or the nearest 0.01. Once again, our job is to look up the equalities that relate inches and miles. We're restricted to the formulas we can use, in this case, to the ones on our formula sheet. And it turns out that there's no direct link between inches and miles. But there is a link from inches to feet and from feet to miles. So for this question, I'm going to have to do two conversions. I'm told that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. And 5,280 feet are in 1 mile. So I'm going to use these two equalities to write conversion factors. Of course, I can write a set of conversion factors for each. So I can use 12 inches over 1 foot or 1 foot over 12 inches for 12 inches. Similarly, for the second equality relating feet and miles, an equality I've simply copied off the formula sheet. I have the two conversion factors, which are 5,280 feet over 1 mile, or 1 mile over 5,280 feet. The process is the same as it was for the first question. We're going to start with our units in inches with our given distance, our given quantity. So we have 385,000 inches. We've already decided that we're going to go from inches to feet. So we'll use that first and then move from feet to miles. Again, inches is in the numerator in this current problem. So I'm going to use the conversion factor where inches is in the denominator so that it's on the opposite side of the fraction line. So for every 1 foot, I have 12 inches. If I stopped right now, I could cancel inches from the numerator and the denominator, do the multiplication of the numbers, in this case 385,000 times 1 divided by 12, and I would have a unit in feet. But the nice thing about this approach is I don't have to stop and do that calculation. I can chain on a second conversion factor. Again, I'm currently in feet because inches will cancel. So we've made it through the first step, and our next job is to convert whatever this number is in feet into the units of miles. So feet, currently in the numerator. Of my two conversion factors, feet over miles or miles over feet, I need that second one. I need feet to be on the opposite side of the fraction line. So 1 mile goes in the numerator and its equivalent in feet in the denominator. Feet is in the numerator in one fraction and then the denominator of the other. Those cancel. And my last unit left, miles, is where I expect it to be, in the numerator. Now it's the arithmetic. I need to multiply my numerators together, multiply my denominators together, and do the division. Or another way to think about it is I'm going to take 385,000, divide it by 12, and divide it by 5,280. My calculator tells me that this is equal to 6.07639, a unit in miles, of course. And we've been asked to round to the nearest hundredth. So I'm looking at this 7, that's the hundredth decimal place. Over to the right, I have a value that is 5 or larger, so I'll be rounding up. And my final answer is 6.08 miles. Certainly a more useful measure than 385,000 inches.